Hi, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at a training game that I played on chess.com. So for this game, I was rated about 1720, and my opponent was rated 1730. So I'm going to leave the engine off in this analysis. I actually did analyze it already. So my goal is to share what I've learned, but from my own knowledge and not using the engine. So let's have a look. Okay, my opponent opened with e4. I went e5, knight f3, knight f6. And now d4 can be played because white does have a knight and a queen protecting that square. So they have enough to push this pawn break. And this is indeed the Scotch game. Now the only reasonable move is to take this pawn. They took back. And now I reached sort of like a critical opening moment for me. I used to play bishop c5 like for the last year and a half, and I only recently switched to a new move here, knight to f6, to be congruent with the Jan Gustafsson lifetime repertoire course. So I did play this, but unfortunately that means that I'm not as familiar with the opening and definitely not the middle game ideas. Okay, my opponent played bishop to g5. This pins my knight. I don't think he's quite threatening e5 yet because I could take it. Although I was very scared of stuff happening down the e file. Like if you imagine my knight here and maybe queen e2 and like, I don't know, there's going to be play. I don't know if it works out for me or not. But I didn't want to allow that, so I played h6. Now he takes the knight. I think I should take with the b pawn here. Generally you do that. There's no need to mess up our castling rights. So I took this way. And bishop to h4. So here I play bishop to e7, but I think if I could do this move again, and the computer did show me this, I think I would play the move g4. I mean, you should be hesitant to play a move like this because you're weakening your king side forever, and clearly my queen side has an open b file, so I don't want to castle there. So that is why I didn't play this move, but we do win a central pawn, so it's kind of hard to argue with something like this. And okay, I would be afraid of queen e2 here, so let's just put that on the board for a second. If queen e2, attacking the knight and pinning it, maybe, what could we do? Can we go queen e7? If queen e7, yeah, I think we're probably fine here now. I'll check with the engine. Yeah, it likes black. Okay, so that's interesting. So we could play like this. But in the game, I played bishop to e7, just trying to develop and keep my king side intact. And they played the move f3, which does seem slow, but it is a typical move that is played in the Scotch. All right, I castled. And bishop to f2. Wasn't sure about this move. I think they were afraid of stuff like knight takes e4, but I was looking at this during the game, and I didn't think anything was good about it, really. I mean, if they took here, I would take the bishop, and that would win a pawn, but they have intermezzo bishop takes bishop, attacking my queen, and even if I do something like knight f2, they take my queen, I take their queen. Oops. I take their queen. They get here and escape. I take here. I'm still down a piece for a pawn there. So none of that was really working. But I went here to maybe protect the diagonal so that he could castle. Kind of does make sense. But it does waste a tempo. Yeah, and I like this move that I played because, well, my king's safe. I'm better developed. So let's play a pawn break. Let's open up this game, right? So I went here, and I thought if e5, I would go knight d7. That did happen. And then f4. I thought this might happen as well. Now here, I think I do have the option to go f6. Yeah, when I analyze this with the computer, it says f6 is a good move, but there is an issue with it. So I'll show you what I was afraid of, why I didn't play it. f6, e6, attacking the knight. Knight c5, attacking the pawn. f5, defending it. Now, these pawns are strong, and I mean, it's basically a pawn wedge. They're annoying, and I guess my bishop can get out this way, but usually when I allow something like this, I lose the game. That's all I know about this. Like, it just looks bad. This looks like a passed pawn because it is a passed pawn. The computer loved this. It said this is the best way to play for black. So I don't understand that. But okay, instead of that, I went rook to b8. Might as well put the rook on an open file and get a tempo. b6 was played. And this was a very interesting moment in the game. I could try f6 again. I think that's possible, but I didn't play for the same reasons. But also, we're controlling c5, and, you know, if I could get my knight into e4, that's a pretty juicy square there. So bishop c5 takes. I'm ready to jump into e4, and bishop to e2. Okay, so I was definitely dreaming about playing queen h4 check for a long time, and I thought this might be the moment to do it. If queen h4 check, it provokes g3, and that allows the move bishop h3. And I thought that must be like a little bit of a gain for me. So I think I played it, yeah. Now if I recall, and I don't, I think once again f6 was the best move by the computer. But this time it makes more sense to me. Like f6, there's no e5, there's no e6, right? We would take it. So this makes a lot more sense to me this time. The white king is in the center after all. And I mean, if they take, once again, we're on the rook in the corner. So we know that can't be good. And if they don't take, like let's say the castle, well, we can tear down the white center. We can go here if they take. I mean, knight e4 is probably just fine here. And I will check the engine briefly. Oh, I forgot about this move. Check this out. Queen to g5. I like this move. We're attacking the pawn, but you know what else? We're threatening bishop h3. So that's pretty cool. But instead I played this, g3. I went queen e7. Now this is funny, the computer showed me this too, but I miscalculated this. I actually was planning queen h3, and I thought if bishop g4, I would go queen g2, attacking the rook. And I thought if here, we pretty much have a draw. Except for one thing. My queen's attacking the bishop, and so is this bishop. I missed this somehow. I could just take it. So queen h3 is possible, although the computer likes queen e7 the best. So go figure. So he castled. Of course, bishop h3. Let's develop with tempo against the rook. The rook moved. And now knight to e4. Okay, and here, at this point in the game, I was starting to get excited because I don't know if you can tell, but this knight this knight move actually comes with tempo. Like, for example, let's say that white goes knight d2, because if knight c3, we take it. I'm pretty sure I have queen c5 check, and this king, where does he go? He has to go here, and then we do this check. So that would be a royal fork, and we win. So queen c5 is a serious threat here, but my opponent did see it and played the move queen d4. That's the best move. So I missed that move, and I didn't feel as excited anymore once he played it. So I did try this. Rook b4. I don't know if this is the best move, but it certainly puts pressure on white. So rook b4. Whew. It's actually 3 a.m. here. I don't know why I'm still up, but I guess I just want to keep studying chess. Yeah, and I missed this move too, c4. So my d-pawn's actually overworked and underpaid. I can't take the pawn because he would take my knight. So that is kind of annoying. But then again, the pawn is also pinned. And here I played f5. Okay. So I am going to need the engine's help now. I don't remember what I should have done here. So the whole game, I mean, most of the game until about now, the computer said black was better, like quite a bit better, like minus 1.4, minus 1.8. And somehow I made incorrect moves and lost all of my advantage and then some. And at this point in the game, it's already equal. I mean, my opponent did find the best moves, like queen d4 and c5 are both top engine moves, which I think was pretty good by him. Yeah, and I went f5, and the computer doesn't like it. So where did I go wrong, right? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, right now it's minus 1.4. It doesn't like check that much. Instead, I have to go f6. But this, queen e7 was right. Bishop h3 was right. Wow. It doesn't like knight e4. Who would guess that? Such a natural looking move. Instead, f5 right away. Yeah, because if they take, again, we're on that rook. And if they don't take, well, I'm not totally sure. I guess knight e4. Okay, but let's wrap up this game. Queen d4, b4, here, okay. Yeah, and pretty soon, I mean, I could feel my advantage slipping away here. And I also got low on time, of course. So here I had 2 minutes. And I'm not sure about that move. And after rook here, rook back. Yeah, rook d5 is a nice move, that outposting the rook. I didn't know what else to do, but in hindsight, I definitely shouldn't take it. But I was worried about this pawn. Like, if I go c6, why not just, like, rook takes? This is what I was afraid of. Although the computer showed me later there's queen takes. Check that out. If I take the rook, they win my queen. And if I take the queen, they take with a rook. So that's annoying. So I took it instead, but look what I just did. You know, I knew this during the game, but I didn't know what else to do. And, well, here I'm losing. So, just show the rest. White infiltrates, grabs pawns. I try to survive. Luckily, I was guarding this square, otherwise it's forced checkmate. It would be queen check, rook blocks, and then queen takes e8 checkmate. So I tried to get perpetual, but Finally, white escaped my checks, and now I'm in huge trouble. It's like Job says in Arrested Development, I made a huge mistake. Yeah. Eventually, I lost my queen, and I resigned, so sadly, I didn't win this one. But, you know, it was like I got an advantage out of the opening, an opening I didn't even know very well. And then I did not find the right continuation. But I think the lesson from this game is that pawn break f6. So I am going to make a flashcard on that one. And that will be my lesson for this time. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.